Nate, my bro. It's your turn for your suite. Finally made it to the workbench. Okay, so let's get the baseline out of the way. We're going to use a 1000-watt slug and PEP, 5-watt slug and reverse going into a 10,000-watt Bird Deming load. We're going to have to use a Galaxy 66V. We're going to use the bench 2 pill. We're going to run on 14 volts and the inevitable Sweet 16. Now, when Nate sent this up to me, he said, man, my box is only putting out like a quarter of its power. I got all these extra pills that I can send with it. There's got to be something wrong on the inside. Can you check it out? And he was thinking that half the transistors were smoked in this box. Well, no. This leg on the combiner had come up. And then there was a break down line here on the board. And you had these electrolytics, they were attached with some 12-gauge wire going back, and they were hot glued down to the board. They've been banging around in here, and they banged against these combiners. They broke the combiners up, so the RF didn't have no place to go. So Nate, I got great news for you, bro. You don't have to replace any pills, and I'm going to send all your pills back. So unless you want to sell them to me, they're coming back home to you. But let's talk about what we did, because when this came in, this thing was fairly stock. It looked like somebody had gone in here and tried to do some mods to it, but once I figured out what was wrong with it and I got it building power, I couldn't just let it go out of here with the very inadequate electrical system inside of it. I mean, these are Toshibas, for God's sake. There's $100, $200, $300, $400 of the transistors up in this box. So I went in and did some other mods. Apparently it's been burned up a couple different times because there's scorch marks here, and this is some added thing that somebody added, and there's scorch marks here, and these combiners aren't stock. These are like out of a messenger. But hooked that back up, got the input tune to lay down, and I went in and I pulled up all that hot glue that was down in here. I took all your caps off, and I gave you a bus bar. And I bypassed your fuses, because you can lose so much current at your fuses. These puppies get so hot. Just bypassing the fuses, you'll see almost 100 more watts out of these boxes. Unbelievable. Went in here and converted it to Class C because he's not an AM talker. Went in and modified his remote. But I added this bus bar, added some distribution wires to it, very minimal. Didn't get totally radical with it because I didn't tell the gentleman I was going to go in and modify this till last night. And I said, well, I couldn't do it with clear conscience. He just started laughing. He goes, well, that's what I expected you to do. Yeah. Add this little copper strip. It center feeds the bus bar. That's getting 50% of the current. That's getting 50% of the circuit current. Everything's in balance. Now, let's go over here and let's talk about your remote. You no longer have the stereo jack. You're going to be running off a 4-pin. Okay? Pin number 1 is 12 volt hot. Pin number 2, that is your on-off. Pin number 3, that is your sideband, and pin 4 is what turns your fans on and off. And it turns all your fans on and off. The thermocouple that used to be here was not present when I got the box, and it's not going to ever be used. Nate expressed a desire to be able to have the fans on a switch, so you can turn them on and off at will. Well, take your 12 volt, and you jump it to either your on-off, to your fans, or to your sideband delay, and it all works. Let your coax carry the ground. Remember, so you have it as a reference. Pin 1 is 12 volt hot. Pin 2 is on and off. Pin 3 is sideband. And pin 4 is your fans. I'll write that down. I'll put it on a little piece of paper for you too. So Nate, let's get into the operation of this box before we get too awfully long-winded here. Key the amp. And we're going to take the 66 and we're going to slam 20 watts worth of drive into this box. This is your input tune. Hello, hello, hello. We are keyed. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. That's 800 watts with 20 watts worth of drive. I'm dead keying a 1.5 watts. It gets you just short of a 200 watt carrier. Hello, audio. 800 watts. Remember, 1000 watt slug, reading that bottom scale, adding a 0. Hello, audio. Alright, so we're going to go over here, click our multiplier up to 2 because we're going to drive this a little bit, just to show linearity on the scale. So now the 50 mark on the bottom scale would be 1000, right? Hello, audio. Okay, off by 200. Now don't do this with your sweet at home, you'll end up frying it. This is my bench 2 pill, and I got it dialed back so we're only going to do about 200 watts worth of drive. Now, since we've gone in and done all the B plus mods and it's not class B anymore, it's strictly class C, that's what utilizes you to be able to flick a switch like this, and make it do watts like that. Now that's roughly, what, 17 and some change? 17 and some change. Let's roll our dead key up here a little bit. So now we're throwing a 900 watt carrier. Buddy, this puppy's working. For 14 volts, this baby is working. It's transmitting as promised. Now, when whoever did the mods before Nate, they didn't add a resistor here and they didn't add a resistor here. I went in and added 5 waters. Not really necessary, but they're there. I cleaned it up as best I could and got her up looking kind of square and straight, man. You're back 10.8. Back to 1,000 watt scale. Getting in the mic a little bit. Just over 1,000 watt dead key gets you 172 amps worth of draw. Stinking RF getting in the mic again. 1,000 watt dead key. Nate, I suggest you run it down like this, buddy. About 200 or so. 200-300 and let her swing. You're a 10.8, you're straight, and you're ready to fly. Nate, I appreciate you sending this up. Let me take a look at it. My name is BBI, and I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho, and there ain't no doubt about that anywhere in anybody's mind. Come check us out, www.bbiamps.com. I appreciate everybody's support. I'll see you. Bye.